Heroic minds forged in the dark recesses of our own parents' basements, once again seeking gold and glory with character sheet in hand and dice at the ready. Join us for an evening of high adventure.
Hello, Governor.
Oh, that's great, Keel.
Welcome
Oh,
to my
jeez.
sanctum secorum.
I'm scared.
Very.
It's just me, guys.
Oh, hey, Keel.
Crikey.
And I realized as I put this on and sat down for a while that I'm going to have to take this cloak off because it's too hot.
I hope you got some shit on underneath there.
I do. Let us begin. How's everybody doing tonight? Woo!
Woo!
So tonight we'll be playing Dungeon Crawl Classics.
So I hate to be that girl, but is this Dungeons and Dragons?
It is
Yes.
not Dungeons and Dragons.
It is not.
It is a
Yes.
role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
As far as you're concerned, it's close enough.
Yes.
That's what I was going for.
What's up, Justin?
What's up?
Justin,
I'm working on my thing real quick.
Your
There we
drink?
go.
your
No. Yeah.
The other thing.
Please take note of my weapons rack that I painstakingly assembled. These are all actual weapons from medieval and various time periods.
I came with an avatar.
Oh, nice.
I know that guy.
Those are real deal. Those are weapons.
Yeah. Like this one.
Soon you're a little quiet. Senor, I can't hear you, Senor.
So, Dungeon Crawl Classics. For those of you who are not familiar with role-playing games, this is a role-playing game. Basically, you assume the role of a fictional character that you've created, and I'll be the judge of the evening. So together, we're going to tell a story and hopefully find fame and treasure and adventure in the process. So there's a lot of imagination required and good spirits. How about that? So the game Dungeon Crawl Classics is a framework. It's a rule set, and using that rule set, they make various adventures for the game that you can play through. That's what we're going to do tonight. Tonight's adventure is called Danger in the Air. You've got your character sheets all printed out and ready to go, I assume. So let's go over.
Justin, did you print your sheet out?
I was just gonna say, was I supposed to print that?
Oh,
Don't
it's
have
almost like
to.
somebody didn't tell you.
It was not a requirement. It is just highly advised. Anyway, so at this point, well, we'll kind of learn as we go along, but at this point, the stuff you really need to be concerned about are the occupation and your equipment, with your equipped weapon that each character has, and maybe your hit points. That's how much life you have left before you die. There's not going to be a lot of points there right now because you're all 0 level. So in Dungeons and Dragons, typically you create a character that's more or less a superhero that goes on these adventures, and over the course of several years, you go up levels and collect magic weapons and things like that. And you stick with your one character unless that character dies, which isn't unheard of course. But in Dungeon Crawl Classics, you don't have a superhero character that you're making. You have a peasant, basically. This is a 0 level, non-superheroed, classless person. So if you look on your occupation, that's the life that your character currently leads. If your occupation says halfling or dwarven or elf up there, then you are that particular thing, an elf, a dwarf, or a halfling. If it doesn't say that, that means you're human. So use your occupation as inspiration for whatever your role play is going to be. And by that I mean, if all of us are walking into a dungeon somewhere and there's a pile of sandwiches on the table, maybe the sandwich artist, whose occupation is sandwich artist, would be able to identify what those kinds of sandwiches are and could do something like that.
Okay. Now, does that mean that you need to be researched, or you said you can make this stuff up? Like,
oh, you make it up.
Okay.
Make it up on the fly. Now, there's a trick to role-playing games that's kind of hard to learn at first, and that is you can't just make up willy-nilly. There are rules you have to be bound by. So really, if you want your character to do something, you say, I want my character to try to climb this wall. And then I, as the judge, will say, okay, well, that's going to be difficulty, and you're going to roll a die, typically a d20, 20-sided die, to see if you succeeded. So you can't just say, oh, I'm going to cast a fireball spell and I destroyed all the goblins. You would say you want to cast fireball, and then we roll dice to see if you were successful. That's something to keep in mind.
Okay.
All right. There's a good passage in this rule book that I enjoy reciting, because I think it sums up how this game, the flavor of the game. I don't know. It's just what am I trying to say? The
essence?
The essence, yes. The essence of the game. Very good. It says, you're no hero. You're an adventurer, a reaver, a cutpurse, a heathen slayer, a tight-lipped warlock guarding long-dead secrets. You seek gold and glory, winning it with sword and spell, caked in the blood and filth of the weak, the dark, the demons, and the vanquished. There are treasures to be won deep underneath, and you shall have them. So, Danger in the Air is a 0 level funnel. By funnel, I mean you're going to start with 4 characters, and hopefully one of them will be alive by the end of the adventure.
Okay.
And that one character will be the one that then goes on to be the wizard or the cleric or the class that, level 1 something. But until then, you're just a lowly peasant who probably hasn't seen lands beyond your own little hamlet before. All right. Everybody got your bottle of mead? Ready to go?
I'm working on print try number 4. We'll see how it turns out with the colors inverted.
You're working on what?
French fries?
Printing out the sheets.
Oh, printing out the
Oh,
sheets.
I thought you said French fry number 4.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah.
Oh, print try.
At any time, I'm probably going over this too quickly. So at any time, if there's a term or a phrase or a concept you don't understand or never heard before, go ahead and stop and ask, because
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of
this is all.
this first round. I'm rusty.
Hey, Ashley, did you mean this?
Yes.
What are you, unprepared?
Not anymore.
Right, so
Can you guys hear me? Am I
Yes, sir.
live? Hey, we made it.
See,
Oh, I picked a new avatar. And I just came up with the backstory for my character.
you don't need
Excellent.
one. I can
Okay.
see it
Always
behind
fun
you.
to have a good backstory.
Did we go over? Are we picking one or are we ripping all
No.
4?
You keep the 4.
Okay.
That's kind of your little group of characters that's going to engage in this adventure, and
Gotta try to keep one alive.
try to keep one of them alive through this funnel.
Roger.
The
I've-
weakest link's gotta go.
I'm racist against halflings, so I already have my first to kill.
Shit.
Okay, that's a good
You know
point.
what's funny?
What?
I was kind of thinking that one of my halfling characters was maybe had an ancestry of bankers.
Oh.
Like a small hat.
Did
Oh,
anyone
boy.
draw? Did anyone draw hat maker as their character?
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. All
I
right.
got the tax collector. How about that one?
Let me know. Hey, let me know, each of you, which character you want to kind of be the leader in your group of 4, and so I can mark that down because that's important.
Well, I am the Rumble Rutabaga farmer.
Okay.
This was my main.
All right. That's your main.
My main is fortune teller.
All right. Oh, okay.
I got bad news for you. I'm racist against fortune tellers too. Dude, I love the cowboy hat.
Well, it's got to come off because that's one of my other guys. I'm Thomas Addison Lyons. I'm a blacksmith.
Cool.
That's a good one.
Brucey?
So we're picking the one that we want to be the leaderish, kind of. Is that what you said?
Yeah, in your group, because as we go along, that'll be the guy that's kind of in front. So
Well, I'm
anything
gonna
good or bad that happens is going to happen to that person first.
We have to go with Wally Wexler.
Who's that? The tax collector?
He is the halfling chicken
Oh,
butcher.
chicken butcher.
Also, I bet that guy wears a small hat.
If you can get one made.
And Stuart is muted, so I don't know if he's able to respond to
I can unmute now. Sid the soldier will be my
Soldier.
leader.
Gotcha. All right, very good.
Hey, and quick question. Should we go over like stats in case people aren't familiar with what does what, or is that going to be more self-explanatory as we go on?
Well, it'll work as we go along, but I can give you a little quick rundown. These ability scores here, these are the characteristics of that person. And the numbers aren't as important to you as they are to me, but to give you a little idea of what they mean, if you have a number in the mod column, a negative number means that number is low, and a positive number means that number is high. So if you have a +2 in stamina, as Stuart's soldier does, then that means he can take a lot of damage, basically. And these attributes affect your fighting abilities and stuff like that. So if you look at your strength, if there's a mod number next to strength, it's going to affect a melee weapon, which means close combat within 5 feet. The agility score is going to affect range combat, so firing bows and throwing stones and stuff like that. They also mean all sorts of other things. Luck is going to play a role as well, but we'll get there when we get there. All right, are we ready to begin?
Let's
Danger
go.
in the air. Yes, Brucey, you have a
Oh,
question.
no, I was just like. Doing
Oh, okay.
It looked like
For
There you go.
KeelThor!
Goal. All right. So, all of you live in villages, and like I said, you're just regular folks. Day-to-day things happen pretty boringly, but you know, it's a medieval time. Probably don't read a whole lot or have never even seen a book before. Gold, you may never have ever held a gold piece, which is a form of currency. You may have traveled to the village down the next village over, perhaps that was only a couple miles down the pathway. So in these mundane lives, try to frame the events that occur in that context. So here's the opening flavor text. For the last 3 days, your village has been buzzing with tales of strange discoveries in the area around it. A couple of mornings ago, Wendell, the shepherd, awoke to find his flock and the meadow they were grazing in splattered with blobs of a curious translucent material that had the consistency of raw steak. To his surprise, he discovered a golden ring and 3 odd silver coins embedded in 2 of the blobs. Yesterday, old Froggen found some similar blobs in his wheat field, along with numerous tremendous gouges in the soil, as if the tails of dragons had dragged across the earth. He too found small gemstones and gold coins in the quivering, meaty stuff. Now, this morning, a discovery of immense wonder and not a small amount of fear has been made. To the north of the village, where the meadows run toward the hills, a gargantuan creature hangs in the air, slowly drifting on the intermittent breeze. So, your characters have all come out to see this crazy thing hanging in the, I mean, it's a ginormous thing hanging in the air. And you're standing in the fields, gazing in wonder at what this could be. Now is your opportunity to give me some feedback on what your characters are thinking, what you'd like to do, perhaps talk to each other, introduce yourselves, if there's some kind of backstory or something you want to throw in here. Go for it.
Well, I want to run right to it, but I have a feeling it'll kill me.
Okay.
Go get it, young man.
Okay.
This goes on. Yeah, well, go ahead and anybody have anything to interject?
Yeah, what
Little
I'm
clarity?
doing is trying to rally my crew because I am interested in that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But I'm not interested in doing it myself. I want to send my people that are like, oh, yeah, we want to listen to you. That's who I'm sending.
All right. Well, I'll give you some more descriptions here of what it looks like.
Okay.
The creature is easily 200 feet in height and about half as wide at its broadest point. It resembles nothing more than a titanic jellyfish crossed with an immense butterfly. A pair of great colorful wings extends from the jellyfish's bell, catching the wind and slowly moving it west. A nest of long, pale tendrils grows from the bottom of the creature, trailing across the ground, and occasionally hits, carving a big groove through the earth. Aside from the breeze-borne movement, the creature is motionless, and to your eyes, appears to be dead. Its gelatinous body is torn in places, and one of its great wings is badly tattered. as you watch pieces of its translucent flesh slough off and fall to the earth below, landing with a plop. Just when you are certain things could not be stranger, you notice that there are some kind of a structure lodged inside the creature's transparent hood. A dome-shaped construction, the size of a 3-story building, which to you guys would be a ginormous skyscraper.
It ate a fucking pyramid.
Yeah. It is situated dead center in the beast's head, its base positioned above just where the tendrils emerge from the body. A section of the structure seems damaged, as if whatever injured the creature also harmed it. Around a rent in the dome at this wound, the sun sparkles on motes of gold and silver. It looks as if treasure has leaked from inside the dome and is now dribbling into the creature's bell, becoming lodged in its gelatinous body. As the creature moves slowly away from the village, gradually taking its curious structure and the treasure it contains with it. Most of the villagers are awestruck at the floating monstrosity, but a few, perhaps driven by a sense of adventure, a curiosity for the strange, or just plain greed, are preparing to take a closer look. And now is the time. So I think